Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning. Happy Sunday to you. Happy new month, new day, new week. This is amazing. I pray that you are off to a great start to your day. This is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated. I am known as your procrastination strategist, behavior change expert. I help you to build unshakable confidence. Stop procrastinating, and you got it. Get your dreams out of your head into your life. Super excited to be here on today. Come on in the room. Good morning, Nikita. So glad to see you. It is truly a blessing. I'm telling you, when we tap into the thought, when we tap into the thought that what's next is always and is way better than what's now, we're gonna move some things, we're gonna make some things happen. So come on in, invite someone. We're not gonna be on here long. I've been at it since early this morning and got some things that I need to do. um, I'm just excited. I'm excited about life. I'm excited about today. I'm excited about the opportunities that are being laid before me. And I think, sometimes we are afraid. We are afraid. We are afraid to, one, take risks. We are afraid to step out. But do you know what risk really is for those of us that said we believe? The only thing risk really is faith. Risk is taking a chance on something you don't know what the outcome it is. Faith is just us doing some things that we don't really know what the outcome is going to be, but we believe and we move forward. Good morning, Margie. Thank you so much for joining. So, as you see, the title of this live feed is that what is next is always better than what's now. Think about that. Think about that. And you can even look over your past and think that even in the midst of a pandemic, even in the midst of COVID-19, you have had some times that has been worse than what we're going through now. We have been through some stuff. We have had to encounter some stuff. We have experienced some stuff. And so just think about it. Think about it. Let's think about it. Let's think about it for a little bit. When you think about even in the word what he said, we're not putting new wine in old in old skins, forgetting those things that are behind us. We're looking forward to things. It's always about what's in front of us. It's never about our past, because our past don't have a future in our life. Our past really, it only lives through us. And so when we think about what's next, what is next? What is next is always greater, better than what's now. Can you just imagine? Can you imagine life being different than what it is right now? Can you imagine? Good morning, Evangelist. Thank you so much for joining. Evangelist Dorothy, thank you so much for joining. Can you imagine life being so much different than what it is? Even from where you are, you can imagine from what it was. It's better. It's better. We have better resources. We have better opportunities. We have more freedom. We have more flexibility. It is better than what it was. Not to say that we got to park our car at what it is, because what I don't like is settling for what is when it's not what I want. Don't settle for what you don't want. And that's where a lot of us make the mistake of we will settle we will settle for what we don't want because we feel like that's what we got. What we got don't have to be what we can have. So what we have, and I mean it, it's not about just things, because see, you can have more peace, you can have more joy, you can have more smiles, you can have more fun, you can make more memories. So you don't have to settle for the memories that you made when you can be making more. You don't have to settle for the happiness that you had when you can be happy today. You don't have to be happy. You don't have to settle for the things and the progress that you have done up until this point, thinking that that was the best. No, that's not the best, because we know that what's next is better than what's now. And all it requires us to do is take a few extra steps. It takes us to stay pressing, to stay going, to keep pressing in. It takes us, to go around the holes in the road and don't let that stop us. When you think about it, and I thought, when I woke up this morning, as I was thinking, when I thought about the holes in the road and going around it and keeping it pressing, keeping it going, keeping moving, when you think about that, that's something that you can think about in every city. I've traveled to some places, and I don't care where I go. Because asphalt is asphalt. Good morning, Pam. Thank you so much for joining. Wear and tear is wear and tear. Weatherizing is weatherizing. And if it's under the weather, if it's been worn out, if it's been used a lot, highways and byways, they're used. Vehicles are vehicles. Tires are tires. And when you're running on them, they're going to have the same thing. You're going to have splits. You're going to have holes. When you have the rain, when you have the snow, there are things that happen that require some, repairs. That require some replacements. And so when you think about holes in the road, everybody, a lot of people, I'm not going to say everybody, a lot of people, if not everybody, they can relate. They can relate because if it's not in their city, in their town, in their neighborhood, on their street, they have been somewhere where you have seen cones and barrels. You have seen the signs where, there's road work ahead. And this is a thing that has been going on for years. So we can all resonate with holes in the road. What do you do? What do you do? But what we do with life, when we run into a hole in life, we quit. We turn around. We stop. We feel discouraged. We get disappointed. We have all these different emotions and feelings and things. But let me tell you something. If we was to parallel that and put that beside the holes in the road that we so often encounter on a day-to-day basis as we drive to and from work, as we go home, go about our daily leisures, just to go to the store and the store or the post office or wherever it is that you're traveling and going, you think about, do you stop going where you're going because there's a hole in the road? What you do? You dodge it the best way you can. You either drive over it or you go around it. And that's the way we got to do in life. That's what we got to do in life. We got to drive over or go around the things that has tried to hinder us, that would tear up our vehicle, that would tear up our lives, that would make our tire go on flat. And when you go on flat and you don't hurry up and do something about it, you would not just have a flat and not just be stranded if you don't know how to change a tire, but you could also mess up a rim and have to replace the whole rim. There's some other things that can happen when you don't take care of the things that need to be taken care of. So let's talk about this thing in life. How is it that we think that we cannot take care of the things that need to be taken care of in life and just keep on driving when we on a flat tire? We on a flat. We're on a flat. With us being on a flat, we have to fix it. We have to fix it. Otherwise, we end up spending more money. We can fix our tire and keep going. We can dodge that hole and keep moving. We do not sit and look, let me tell you something. Listen at this. Have you seen abandoned cars? Most of the time, one or two things either happen. Well, maybe one or two things can happen. One or three things can happen, or maybe one or four things. I don't know. But some of the things that can happen when you see cars on the road, the owner, one, come back and get it. The owner, two, may send a tow truck to come and pick it up. Or sometimes, you see the stickers on there, the city citations for the sticker because they've been sitting there too long. But then sometimes somebody else will come along and pick up stuff that don't belong to them because it's been sitting on the side of the road. But I want you to think about your life and think about how you have you abandoned your car on the side of the road because it was disabled because of a reason that you don't even know why. You don't know why it's not starting. You don't know why it's running hot. Not to say that we didn't do the maintenance on it, but at the same time, you're not a mechanic and you may not know why it's not working at that time. When you get somebody to look at it, they may tell you, girl, you weren't changing your oil. They may tell you that you didn't have no, you didn't have no oil in it, or you don't have no water in it. So, it may be something with your radiator, your motor, it may be something with your alternator, your starter. It may be something with a lot of stuff. Because see, generally, you may not have no windshield washer fluid up in there, but it don't stop you from driving your car. You may not be able to squirt a little extra water on there when you can't see because you don't have anything up in your reservoir for your washer fluid. But in life, we may not know why things happen. We may not know why people did the things or said the things. We may not know why we was abused. We may not know about why they are treating us the way they're treating us. We may not know. We may not know the why. We don't know why the car quit at the time. But even once we become aware of what happened, what caused it, what could have been done, if anything could have been done. Because see, all the time the things that happened to us, there was not a prerequisite or a preventive mechanism. Some things happened the spur of the moment, and you didn't have time to react. You didn't have time to fix it. You didn't have time to get over before they slammed into you, before it just came all crashing down. But what we got to think about, when those things happen, we can't let them stop us. We cannot let those things stop us, because we know that what's next is always better than what's now. When you look at your life right now, the things that you're going through right now, the things that you're encountering right now, the things that you're experiencing right now, the struggles that you have right now, do you know what's next can outweigh that? What's next can press you forward? Good morning, Belinda. Thank you so much for joining. What is next can be the best time of your life, because see, we stay in the nowness now of where we are, what we don't have, what we can't do, where we're not able to go. But do you know that if you just hold on, you may not be able to go to some places now, but when you listen, I want to do something tomorrow. See, now, when you think about now, we can make premature decisions about now, because we want what's now, and we will miss what's next because we won't be here. We can make premature decisions about what's happening now, and we would overlook the thing that could be greater later. But see, we have to look at what we're looking at. We have to think about what we're thinking about, and recognize that what is to come could be better than what's now. Why is that? Because we've learned some things. We've experienced some things. We've been educated on some things. We've been schooled on some things. See, when we approach a thing approach some things prematurely, sometimes we would jump out in a space that we're not familiar with. We haven't did any homework. We don't have enough experience on it. You may have the desire to give your child a car at the age of 18, but those same keys can hurt them and cause them all type of harm if you gave it to them at the age of 8. They don't know how to drive. They don't know the rules of the road. They don't know the laws of the land. They don't have the driver's license. They're not even legally able to get the license, even though you may have sit them on your lap. You may have told them what to do. They may be able to go on the lawnmower. They may be able to drive their little tinker toy. They may be able to drive a Jeep and their Barbie car. But that's not the same as getting out on the road and experiencing the real thing and being in control of this vehicle, and not just in control of the vehicle, being in control of the actions of other people, which we never can control. See, we got to realize that, it may be the right thing, but it might be the wrong time. And so we got to look at what's next is better than what's now. It's always better than what's now. The new wine in new wineskin is better than you putting something in some old. The thing, and we will stay stuck in a place thinking that what we got is better than what we can get. Y'all not going to talk to me today. You're quiet. We get stuck in this thing thinking that what we have is better than what we can achieve and what we can do and who we can be. We are always farther from the wisdom the understanding, the experiences, the struggles. How many of us are better than we were yesterday because of the things that we have learned? Our trials, they were hard at the time, but there was our study mechanism for when we take the test. Our trials, when we had to go through some things, encounter some things, experience some things. You know, when some stuff happened that we didn't know why it happened. When we had to go through when people did some stuff that we thought was going to be with us forever. They taught us something. We learned something. And why is it that we don't take what we learn and say, you know what I'm going to do with this? You know, the thing that I am going to do with this, I am going to take what I have learned and I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it to be better. I'm going to use it to go farther. I'm going to use it to go forward. See, we got to use what we have learned to not just go farther, because see, we can go farther back. We want to go farther forward. Oh, I like that. We want to go farther forward than we have ever been before. Y'all are quiet this morning. You're quiet. You're quiet this morning. We want to go farther. We want to go farther, and we want to go farther. We want to go forward, and we want to go fast. Because if we keep on procrastinating and we're going to wait till tomorrow, we're going to do it next week. We're going to do it next time. We're going to do it when we get this together. We're going to do it when we get that together. But we want to be fast. We want to be forward. And we want to be in our future now. What is next is better than what is now. We're going to have a great time. We want to go forward. You know, we want to go forward. We want to go forward, and we want to get there fast. And when we think about that we have more control than when we are operating in, oh my. So just think about where you are. Think about where you are. Think about where you want to be. We only need to know two things. And you hear me say it all the time. We need to know two things. And the two things that we need to know is where we are and where we want to go. Where are we and where we want to go? Where are we and where we want to go? When we have those two things, the gap in between, it gives us something to work towards. It gives us something to work for. So I want you to think about your life and where you are in your business, where you are in your relationships, where you are in your finances. Where are you in you? Where are you in your personal development? Where are you in life? Are you happy with where you are? We have this mentality. We seem to have this mindset to think that I'm just going to work hard. How many of you know that working hard or harder is not always your answer? Now, we have to work. We have to put in effort. We have to, move forward in our movement. But all the time, hard work don't result in better results. I know some hard-working people that is struggling out the yazoo. They work hard. They work from sun up to sundown. They eliminate things and they don't create memories. They don't spend time with families, and their life is no better than the person that's not working at all. They work hard, but hard work is not all about what you do and how hard you do it. It's doing the right things in the right portions, in the right measurement, at the right time. Good morning, Reletta. Thank you so much for joining. It's not about how hard we work and how hard we work at it, because there are people that we know that works really hard. They work really hard and they're struggling. But when we change the way we think about the work that we do, when we change the way we think about the work we do, our life will change. We got to know that our next is better than our now, because we have the opportunity to be involved in what's going to happen to us. What is going to happen to us? We don't have to sit back and let somebody else make a decision on every move that we make. We don't have to sit up and let somebody else determine how great life is going to be with us, because we put our life in their hands, because we feel like we don't have an option and we don't have a choice, and that we don't have room to make a decision. But let me tell you something. We have a power. I was talking to my daughter the other day. It was so funny because she got this little dog and she was like, "Oh, he do all this and that." But do you think, when you think about animals, they have the same five senses. They can touch people with their paws. They can see. They can hear. They can smell. And when they barking or meowing or chirping or whatever they're doing, they speaking in their language. So they can speak. They got the five senses. But what we have as a human nature, we have things that they don't. That was the old me, hard working, running in circles, hunted, boo, bye. That's you know what I like, Belinda. We think that working hard, we work hard, and as you said, running in circles and tripping over our feet and all over the place and don't get nothing accomplished. But when we just chill, sit back and work intentionally, we work on purpose, we can work less and have more. But as I was telling my daughter about our little dog, she said, "Oh, Ma, you will like it." I said, "Nah, you will like it. I don't like no dog." But anyway, the dog is cute. But I said, we can see, hear, smell, touch, feel all these things, and animals can too. But we have something that they don't have. We have will, we have a perception, we have intuition, we have choices, and all these things. So we have to use what we have and work with what we have. We don't have to work that kind of hard and still don't have nothing. Y'all not going to talk to me today. Y'all not going to talk to me today. We think if we just do all this stuff and if we show up everywhere and be there for everybody, that things are going to work in the way that we desire for them to work. And how many of you know that when usually that happens, you the one end up being hurt? The people that you help, they hurt you the most. The people that you do the most for, you can't call in and listen. It's not that you're calling and depending on them for nothing. You had to help them. But sometimes, when you think about, you go out of your way to help a person, and those are the people that hurt you the most. Those are the people that disappoint you the most. You think that those will be the people that's by your side. But I've noticed this thing. I've noticed it's a pattern. It's a pattern. It's a pattern that people that do the least, they complain the most. Have you seen that? Have you seen that in your life and with the people that you have encountered or may have been around, where the people that do the least, they complain the most? And you try to figure out why. Why is it that you got a problem? You haven't even put in nothing. Why is it that you have a problem? But you know what? I come to the conclusion, it's the way we think. And if we don't get over the hurdle of our own thoughts, we're going to continue to self-sabotage ourselves with the mentality that if we just work hard, that we going to make it. But we got some hard-working people that has died and left with nothing. They didn't leave nobody nothing because they didn't even have nothing when they was here. They worked hard. Hard work is not always the answer. Intentional work. Do what you do and do it on purpose. Do what you do and do it on purpose. We are afraid to step out of our comfort zone. And I have on my little shirt, it says that life begins at the end of your comfort zone. You got to get out of that thing that makes you comfortable. You got to get out of that thing thing that make you feel good. You got to get out of that thing because see, we like to operate by emotions. If we feel good about it, I'll go with it. You know, if I like it, you know, if it makes me happy, you know, some of the biggest things that you have to do. For me, when I spend money, I get an attitude. I don't have no attitude about somebody because see, spending money is serious. You have like a real serious, and I don't know if this resonate with anybody else, but when I spend money, it can be money that's gonna move me forward, that's gonna make my life better, that's gonna set my future up. I get an attitude because one thing about it is you have to ask yourself, am I making the best decision with the resources that God has given me? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the thing that's going to set me up? So it's not like, oh, I got the money and I'm excited because I got it and oh, I can do it. No, it runs my pressure up when I spend big money. It does. I like what I'm buying. I feel like what I'm buying into, I need it. And some of it, I just plain outright want it. But at the end of the day or in the process, it's like I have to go through this process in my mind because it's like, oh, But at the end, in the end, you got to get out of the things that makes you comfortable because when it's comfortable and when we're capable of making it happen, we're not trusting the higher power. And for whatever you may refer to him as, for me, it's God. We're not trusting that he is going to always provide what I need when I need it. See, a lot of us, we won't make a decision because we're looking at the now. You got to look at the next. Oh, this is good to me. We looking at the now. We say, if I do this now, then I don't know what's next. You know, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do next month. That ain't the way. We can't live life, you know, looking at the now. You got to say that, you know, God, always, I would always have what I need when I need it. That's something to really think about. That is something to really think about. You'll always have what you need when you need it. Even when you think about where you were and where you are and where you're going. When you think about that, you know, even when it was bad, it wasn't real bad. When you think about you didn't have what you wanted, but you had what you needed. When you think about you never really starved. You haven't had to go, you know, 6 days or 7 days without eating. You didn't have to go 40 days without eating. You may not had what you wanted to eat, but you always had something to eat. Oh, that's good to me. You always had something to eat. You may not have been staying in the house that you wanted to stay in, but you always had somewhere to stay. You might not have liked the rules at where you were staying, but you had somewhere to stay. See, that's what we miss. We miss it. We mix it up at. Now, it said you would have what you need when you need it. It didn't say that you would keep it. Because see, sometimes we will foolishly get rid of the things that we have. Because see, you will have the relationship that you need when you need it. But sometimes we'll self-sabotage our relationship by our past experiences with somebody else. And we'll compare the people that we're with the people that we was with, or with the relationship that we was in. We'll compare who we with what they did, and it don't even have anything to do with them. We're not them. You know, sometimes we'll feel like we've been gotten over before, and so now I can't trust nobody. I can't get close to nobody. I can't work with nobody. I can't, I'm just gonna do me. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to get out of your head and stop thinking that if you protect yourself. See, we got this mentality. See, the brain tells us that we got to close off everything, that we got to be protected. We got to protect ourselves. But how many of you know, even in your own life, that you can't see everything that's related to you? When you're looking in the front, you can't see what's on the back. When you're looking in the front, you can't see what's on both sides of you. So therefore, you need somebody else that's going to cover you, that's going to spot you, that's going to be right there, that's going to see, that they can see what you can't see because you're in the picture. You got to get out and look at the frame. You can't see, if you hanging in the picture, you're not going to be able to get that view that if you're looking at it from the outside looking in. But we try to feel like, well, I gotta handle this myself and I gotta take care of this myself. We're better together. We are better together. So I'm getting ready to get off of here, but I want you to remember that what is next is always better than what's now. So I don't know what your now is, what your situation is now. I don't know where you are in your business now, your finances, your future. I don't know where you're in your marriage now, which in your friendships. But know that what is next, it is always better than what's now. So don't get discouraged and bogged down in the midst of 2020 and the pandemic and COVID-19, because what is next is going to be better than what's now. Think about that. Where you are right now, next is going to be better. Next is going to be better. Just tell yourself, next is going to be better. Next is going to be better. My next is going to be better than my now. My next is going to be better than my now. My next business is going to be better than my now business. Come on now, somebody. Come on now, somebody. See, the next time that your next one is going to be better than your now. Your next is going to be better. If that can just resonate in your spirit, your next is going to be better than your next breakthrough is going to be better than your now breakthrough. Come on now, somebody. Your next job going to be better than your last one. Next. What's next? What's next? Can we look forward to what is next and not look at what is now? Come on now, somebody. Good morning, Coach O. Happy Sanctified Sunday. I'm visiting my mom right now. Good morning, Jeanette. Thank you so much for joining. What's next? And while you visiting mom, send my love to you and mom, and continuous praying for mom. But listen, take this in your visit. What is next is better than what's now. Even in those things, what is next is better than now. We got to think next level. We got to think next breakthrough. Hallelujah. What is next is better than now. We can stay right there. When we look at where we are right now, my next business is going to be better than my now business. Belinda, you're going to be all over this world, and your stuff going to be out of the country, girl. You're going to be sending designs. They may print their own stuff, but you're going to be sending designs. Somebody out of the country is going to want to send you, want you to design some stuff for you, because you have opened up your mind to the nextness. We're not in the nowness. What is next is better than my now. That is so profound. What is next is always better than now. When we look back over our life, and when we look back, when we was little kids, when we look back before we started working, when we look back when we started working, when we look back from the first job to those that was in the middle to the one that we have, when we look back in the businesses that we have established, we can truly say that we have been blessed. We can truly say that we're better than we was. And we can have the mentality that it gets greater later. It gets greater later, and it gets greater because of our experiences. It gets greater because of our gratefulness. He says in the word, it said, never despise the beginning of small things. We start off with what we have and where we are. And then as we build on that, it gets better. It gets better. Even in a relationship, it gets better. When you're learning each other and you're trying to figure out, what they like and what's their color and what makes them tick and what makes them smile, what brings joy to them, what makes them feel good. What is it that they need extra space and extra time on it? But see, when we are able to accommodate those boundaries without getting offended, we can say our relationship is better. It's better than it used to be. But sometimes in relationships we can be too clingy and we can be too needy. And we feel like when they don't call or when they don't text, we can be offended. But sometimes the space that is necessary, it makes it better for when you come together. You can just love on one another. You can appreciate one another. You can miss one another. You can, it just better. When you sitting up under somebody all the time and all these, you don't have nothing to miss because you get tired of them. You get, they do some things that you may not necessarily like, but if you're not around them all the time, some things you wouldn't even see. Oh, y'all not gonna talk to me. What's next is always better. I love this message this morning. Thank you so much. God is working in front, behind the scene, from next being better than my now. Amen. God bless you. When he gave me this message this morning, I was just thinking, I said, now, and the first thing is kind of started at 1:00 in the morning. It says something to 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And I put it out there. I said, stop. Don't let the holes in the road stop you. Don't let the holes in your life stop you. Go around them babies. That's the way he said, I'm laying in the bed. Don't let the holes in the road stop you. Go around them babies and keep it moving. I laid there and I meditated on that a while. I laid there and see, sometimes holes in the roads can be friends. Holes in the roads can be relationship. Holes in the roads can be finances, can be bosses, can be co-workers, can be jobs, can be business partners. Holes in the roads can be family members. I don't know what the holes in the road is for you on this Sunday morning, but don't let the hole of the diagnosis, don't let the hole stop you. You go around them babies and keep it moving. Oh, this is good to me. This is good to me. We got to go around those things that has tried to stop us and put us on flat, to immobilize us, to stop us from moving, to stop us from prospering, to stop us from being better, greater, happy, more joyous. And it said, I was listening to some music this morning. It said, don't worry about what's going on tonight, because joy is going to come in the morning. And the scripture says something to the fact that weeping may endure for a night, but joy is coming in the morning. I don't know when your morning is. I don't know when your morning is. I don't know when your next is. But know that your next is going to be better than your now. Your next is going to be better than your now. And sometimes we can't see it. Sometimes when we are faced with a next opportunity, we can't see it because we're in our comfort zone. But when we step out and say, you know what, I don't know. And I mean, you can have a whole attitude about it and say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this thing, but I just really, I don't want to. But I'm going to do it anyway. I do not want to do this thing, but I'm going to do it anyway. And let me tell you, you're going to be so glad that you did. Because see, when we're making life-changing decisions, when we have to make those decisions, it is frightening. It makes us afraid. It gets us angry. Sometimes we don't quite understand. And when we don't understand, what we do, we take flight, we flee, and we figure, I ain't doing this. No. But when you take a leap by faith and say, I don't know what in the world is going to come out of this, but I'm going to try it anyway. I don't know. I don't know what is in the inner part of my next. But I know my now. It's not at its peak. My now is getting me by. My now has taken me up to this point. But how many of you know there's something greater on the other side? How many of you know that your very next step can blow your mind. This month, this month for me is going to be the best month of my life. You know why? Because I see, I see that when I just continue to go around and over potholes and holes that are in the road, holes that are in my life, holes, when I continue to just press forward, things are going to happen. Things are going to happen. So when you are afraid of a decision that you make, that is perfectly normal. That's normal. You can be reluctant to it. You can, you all those things. It's perfectly normal. As I was thinking earlier this week, it said, and I mentioned it, I think, one day when I did a live. But one of the things that I was seeing is every time you get close to a breakthrough, the enemy raises up his head because he see what it can do for you. He already know how it can benefit you. And so he got to put something in front of you to make it seem like this ain't right. This ain't gonna work. No, I'm not gonna quit my job and go over here and start over. I was listening to something this morning, and the person they was getting ready to, they was looking forward to I think it was their 46th year of working at a place. 46 years. And was looking forward. They had worked 45 and was looking forward to working their 46th year. And in their prayer walk, he was walking with himself and his wife. During his prayer walk, the Lord told him that it was time for him to retire. He was looking forward to going. He was a teacher. He was looking forward to going and teach his 46th year. And the Lord said, it's time for you to retire. And so he started a prison ministry. And now he has one of the largest prison ministries in America. But he had to cut the cord on what he was feeling and what he was wanting and what he was looking forward to, and step out on faith and trust what God was telling him to do. And he did it. And it was the best decision that he makes. And now he even hosts one of the largest gatherings or celebrations for individuals, families that are locked up, because we know that during Christmas, we know we're just entering into that season. Is one of the most emotional seasons in the year is Thanksgiving and Christmas. Thanksgiving and Christmas, because we have memories around, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so when we have those memories, we start to bubble up with these emotions. And so we have to figure out ways to have the memories. Yes, confirmation and hearing me cry for mercy. I see the hand of the Lord on my necks. Amen. God, Jeanette, you have not, I am just like lost for words, because you have no idea. You have no idea of what God is trying to do in your life. What God is trying to do in your life. What God is going to do in your life, because the voice is going to be heard, and it's going to be heard, and you're going to take the action that is necessary. But we know we just entered into this season, because today is November the 1st, of one of the most emotional seasons, these 2 months of the year. Thanksgiving and Christmas is emotional. People begin to think about who they don't have with them any longer. They begin to think about the meals and the gatherings and the memories. I want to encourage you in this season that your next is better than your now, and the memories that we were able to create with our families. The memories that we had with grandma and our Medias and our pawpaws and our fathers and our mothers and our siblings and our BFFs, the memories that we were able to create, it wasn't to stop us because they left. It was to propel us forward. You know, a lot of times, in most cases, those people that we're close to, it will hurt their hearts to know that we have stopped living because they're no longer here. That's not what they desire for us to do. My grandmother is my number one driver to keep me moving. Good morning, Darla. Thank you so much for joining. I know my grandmother was proud of everything that I did. And I know what keeps me moving is to keep moving in her legacy, in her living, to know that her prayers for me were not in vain, that her support in me was not in vain. I am enjoying what I'm hearing. Thank you so much. God bless you. That her prayers for me, that her prayers were not in vain. Her prayers were not wasted. Her prayers, because see, my grandmother, she prayed, she loved her family. One of the things that we did on her dying bed as she was sick and laying there, she said, I want to have church. She called us from church. We was at church. We all left church. We called and we gathered around her beds, my siblings, my aunt, my mom, my nieces and nephews, and we sang and we had a word, and all she kept saying, even till she took her last breath, I want to go to my church. I want to go to my church. So since she couldn't go to church, and some of her church members, they visited and they came over. Since she didn't go to her church, we had to make sure the church came to her. And we wanted her to know that her living was not in vain. Her prayers were not in vain. So what drives me? Oh, my shadada, my shiki. What drives me to keep on going is to know how proud she would be if she was still here. It don't make me stop because she's gone. My grandmother was my number one fan. She was going to make sure she was going to tell somebody about her grandbaby. She was going to make sure that she was going to support me in the things that I did and the events that, you know, one of the pictures that we used on her obituary was a picture that she was at my event of building unshakable confidence. Yeah. Both of those events, even unwrapping the gifts, you know, building unshakable confidence and being unapologetic about it. She was there. And I mean, she was on a cane at the time, but my grandma was right there front and center. We have to stop allowing the potholes in life to stop us from moving. It's time. We getting ready to get out of here, but it's time for us to get out of our comfort zone. It's time for us to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. It's time for us to stop letting the struggles that we have had in life to stop us from moving forward in life, because we got a work to do. There is a work for each of us to do. Every day that we have been blessed to still be here, there is something for us to do. Something for us to do. Something for us to do. So as we get ready to get out of here, as we are encouraged to move forward, get out of our comfort zone, and as Joyce Meyer said, you know, even if you have to do it afraid. Do it afraid. And you know what else I want to tell you to do? Do it for you. Do it for you. We be so quick to do everything for everybody else, but we won't do it for us. And one thing I heard a mentor say, my mentor, this is what he said. He said, if you had somebody that you loved and they was being held hostage, and you was told that it was going to require a certain amount of ransom money to get them, you'll do what you have to do to get them. You'll do what you had to do to get the money. Listen to me, and listen to me closely this morning. Please don't take this lightly. Don't shun this off. Don't put it on the shelf. Don't sit it to the side. Listen, how many people in life that you know, they'll go all out to raise money to save somebody that they love? But they won't raise the money to save their own life. They won't figure out a way to save their own life. We'll go get ransom money for our kids. We'll go get ransom money for our cousin. We'll go get ransom money for our mothers and fathers, our BFFs. We'll go get ransom money for our boo, our honey drop, our chocolate drop, our bae, our sweetheart. We'll go get ransom money for the wife, for the husband, for the friend, we'll even go get ransom money for people that we don't even like. But we don't take the effort to get ransom money for ourselves, to save ourselves from a point of settling in life and said that I'm good with what I got. But we'll go all out for somebody else. We will go all out for somebody else. You're so welcome. We'll go all out for somebody else. Have you ever just thought about the things that we say and the thoughts that we think that we say, oh, they need that. We can name all the people. You know, when you hear a great message, you say, I wish they was here because they really needed to hear this message. But we never admit how much we needed to hear this message. We never admit how much we needed to make an investment in ourselves. But we always find somebody else in our minds that it will be better for them than it will be for us. That's all I got to say, y'all. That's all I got to say today. We always have a better solution for other people than we have for ourselves. Oh, my kids, they need that. My wife, she need that. My husband need that. Oh, my coworker need that. My friend need that. My church, they need that. My family need that. But we never say what we need. What is it that you need? What is it that will propel your life forward? What is it that you're not investing in, that you're running from because you are afraid of what's on the other side? What is it that you need? You're good at mapping out what everybody else needs and what everybody else can do and how this thing or that thing can help the next person. But my last question for you today is, what is it that you need? What is it that you need? And I want you to remember that your next is better than your now if you would just take action. Shut up. If you would just take action, your next is going to be better than your now. You don't have to stay stuck there. You don't have to stay there, but your next is better than your now. Look, if you're new to me, this is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated. I am known as your procrastination strategist, your behavior change expert. I will help you build unshakable confidence, stop procrastinating, and you got it. Get your dream out of your head into your life. But you know what? I can't help you if you don't let me. I can't help you if you don't let me. But if you just follow me, and this may sound real harsh for us super grown folks, because you know some of us be like, I'm grown. If you follow me and do what I tell you, I guarantee you your life won't be the same. It won't. That's not bragging. That's not patting myself on the back. That's not tooting my own horn. I know the call that is on my life. I know what the Lord showed me. He said, you will speak to millions and your feet will tread on strange land all over the world. Virtual feet, natural feet, they'll tread all over the world. God bless you. I pray that you have an amazing day. I pray that your month, this month, will be the best month of your life. Don't let the small, mundane things stop you from traveling forward. Don't let those holes stop you. You go around them, you go over them, but you got to keep moving. God bless you.